Hello, everybody. My name is Lorraine. I'm from Canada. This Verbling class is at an intermediate level. It's called A Changing World. And we're going to be reading an article about a man who fell into a coma for 19 years. He was a Polish railway worker. And when he woke up, the world was a completely different place. So just imagine the number of changes that have happened in the last 20 years, and you can imagine how he feels. During this class, we'll also be looking at some vocabulary and defining the vocabulary. And for grammar practice, we'll review the tenses. So we're going to review present tense, past tense, some perfect tenses. So I'll say hello as people come into the class, and then we'll get started. And we have Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Good. Where are you from?
Hong Kong.
From Hong Kong. Very nice. That is a place I have never been, and I think it must be very interesting.
Oh, where are you come from?
I'm from Canada.
Oh.
Actually, yeah, go ahead.
It's 1 a.m. in Hong Kong right now.
Oh my goodness, that's very, very, very late at night. Why aren't you sleeping?
Because I'm not so tired, so I decided to have a class first.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you came to my class. Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Hello, Elena. How are you doing today?
Fine. I'm working too much, but fine.
Oh, working too much. That's a big problem.
Yes.
Yes. How many hours have you worked today?
Oh, I don't know because I have been working at home. So I got up at I don't know 8 and until now.
And what time is it for you now?
7.
7 p.m.?
Yes, well,
my.
I have eaten and so on, but I have been working all day.
That is a lot of working. And now you're taking English classes. More work.
Yes, I expect to relax.
Okay, we'll try to make it relaxing for you. Hi,
Thank you.
Amparo. How are you today?
Hi, teacher. Doing well, thank you. What about you?
I'm good. Have you been as busy as Elena today?
No, yesterday, yes. That's why I didn't take classes in the morning yesterday, but now it's better.
Oh, that's good. Welcome to the class. And do we have Joseph? Joseph, who has a very interesting insect for his icon.
Yes, that's a camouflage for the insect.
Yes, it sure is.
Like a leaf.
Like a very bright green leaf. Amazing.
Yeah, I like it.
Do you know what kind of insect this is?
Most people say that it is a grasshopper, but I don't think.
Grasshopper? No, it's not a grasshopper. Well, it's similar to a grasshopper, but I can only see 4 of its legs. So if the front legs are not on the ground, it could be a praying mantis. That's what it looks like.
I don't know, Lorraine.
Anyway, Joseph, welcome to the class. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you, Lorraine.
Anatoly, hello, welcome.
Hello, thank you.
What have you been doing today, Anatoly?
It was usual working day for me.
Working day. Okay. Do you sometimes play games online because you have an avatar here?
Yeah. I used for practice English before Second Life.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's
Do
the
you not?
virtual world.
Yes. Do you use Second Life now or not anymore?
Very seldom.
Okay.
Sometimes.
So you use Verbling more than Second Life now for practicing?
Yes, yes. One of the reason why I did it because for Mac it is not comfortable to use Second Life because it needs more powerful computer.
Ah, okay.
And for this platform, it is very comfortable.
Oh,
to
good.
use.
Okay, that's interesting. That's good to know. Okay, so let's get started with our material. There is quite a lot of material today. So I have posted the worksheets in both chats, and I'll share my screen with you, my PowerPoint. So if you can't see the white screen that says a changing world, let me know. All right, good. Everybody can see it. So, what do you know about the changes that occurred in Eastern Europe between 1989, or that occurred in Eastern Europe in 1989 to 1990? Does anybody know what happened during that time?
No, I don't remember.
No?
I know.
Okay, let us know.
Well, in 1989, the Berlin's Wall fell down.
Okay. Yes.
So Germany, two parts of Germany reunited, and well, that changed Europe completely.
Yes.
And all the world, because it was the end of the I don't know, Cold War.
Yeah, we say it was here in North America, we say it was the end of the communist era. So all of Russia kind of fell apart. The Soviet Union fell apart.
Yes, but how do you say? We say Cold War, the period after the Second World War.
Yes, that was the Cold War. Yes.
Cold War in English as well. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that was the name of the relationship between the United States and the Soviet Union. They were having a Cold War. And this is a war where there aren't fighting. There's no fighting that's going on like tanks and bombs and that sort of thing. But it was more a war of ideas and ideology. So the United States spent a lot of time trying to stamp out communism wherever it found it. And that was all part of the Cold War after the Second World War. Okay, and Shafar, hi, welcome.
Hello. Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good, and we have Natalie. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, welcome to the class, Natalie. Where were you from?
I'm from Colombia.
From Colombia, but you have a nice picture of Stonehenge.
Yeah.
Do you know where Stonehenge is?
Yes, it's hotel. I've been there last year.
Were you? Yeah, very, very interesting place. Welcome to the class.
Thank you.
Okay, so the first bit of vocabulary we're going to do is health expressions. So there are collocations that make up different expressions in English. And they are a collocation. They're always said like that. It's just the way they're done. So let's see if we can match the word on the left with the rest of the phrase on the right. So let's start with Amparo, number 1. Amparo? Amparo, did we lose you? Okay, Anatoly, can you do number 1 for me, please?
Fall. I think forgive round fall into a coma, maybe.
Yes, that's right. Fall into a coma. And what does this mean? Can you read it, please?
To enter a state of unconsciousness from which you cannot be awoken.
Okay, so that's unconsciousness.
Unconsciousness.
Good, yes, perfect. Okay, Elena, number 2, please.
Remain in good health.
Yes, remain in good health. And what does that mean?
To continue to be well after an operation or illness.
Good, okay. And Joseph, the next one, please.
Come into a coma.
We've already used into a coma, and it was fall into a coma. Come,
fall a coma?
No, come has to match with something else because we have already used into a coma.
Come in someone 2 years to life?
No, that's not quite right. Can anyone help him?
Come round.
Come round, yes, come round. This is a collocation that means what, Joseph? What does it say, Joseph?
To regain consciousness. Consciousness.
Perfect, yes. So to come round means to regain consciousness. So if you were knocked out and you are unconscious, it's like being asleep. When you regain consciousness, we say you're coming round. Okay, you come round. The next one for Natalie. Number 4.
Take someone 3 years to live.
Not take someone 3 years to live. Also, when you are looking at the different possibilities, look at what it means. Okay.
To take precautions.
Yes, take precautions. And what does it mean?
To do things to prevent something and in place or dangerous from happening.
Okay, good. Yes. All right. And Shafar? The last one. I always say hard one.
Suffer a heart attack.
Oh, it isn't the last one. I'm sorry. Suffer. What was your answer? A heart attack. Yes, suffer a heart attack. And what does it mean?
Something in your heart become.
Just read the description here, okay?
I'm sorry. to be victim of the heart attack.
Okay, good. And Stephanie, the last one. You get the hard one.
Give someone 3 years to live. To say that someone will live for 3 more years.
Excellent. Does anyone have any questions about these collocations? Okay. Now, we're going to read the article and answer these questions. So let's take a look at the questions first. So when we read, we'll be looking for these answers. Let's see, Amparo, are you there? Amparo? Okay. Anatoly, can you read number 1, please?
How long was Jan Grebinsky in a coma?
Okay. And number 2, Elena?
When did he lose consciousness?
Good. And Joseph, number 3?
How many years did doctors give him to live?
Good, thank you. And Natalie?
When did Lech Walesa receive the Nobel Peace Prize?
Good, thank you. And Stephanie?
When did Mr. Walesa return to work after his period of house arrest?
Okay, very good. So I'm going to switch my screen share to the article, and if you prefer, you can read it from the worksheets. So okay, so hopefully everyone can read it. Okay. And all right. Let's see. Elena, can I get you to read the title, the subtitle, and paragraph 1, please?
Yes. Coma victim wakes up to post-communist world. Adapted from the Independent for June 2007.
Good.
A Polish railway worker has woken after 19 years of a coma to discover that his world has changed beyond recognition.
Very good. Thank you. Anatoly, number 2.
When I went into a coma, there was only tea and vinegar in the shops. Jan Borski, now 65, told a Polish news channel. Meat was rationed and there were huge petrol queues everywhere.
Okay, so let's take a look at some of the words you had some problems with. This word is vinegar.
Vinegar, okay.
Vinegar, yeah.
Vinegar.
And this word, one of those ed endings on a past tense verb, rationed. Rationed.
Rationed, okay.
Good. And then this crazy word, which is not an English word at all, this is a French word, and it's queue.
Queues.
Yes, queues.
Okay.
Good.
Thanks.
Do you understand what a queue is?
Yes, it is a line.
Yes.
I know that in Britain or maybe in the United States, in one country, people call it line, in the next country, queue.
Yes. So in Britain, they say queue, and in North America, we usually say lineup. It's a lineup, not a queue. Okay, good. They both mean the same thing, so it's okay. Joseph, can you read number 3, please?
Okay. Mr. Grebsky lost
Consciousness.
Consciousness.
Good.
Sorry. Consciousness in 1988 after he was hit by a train. Doctors gave him only 2 or 3 years to live, but because of the tireless care of his wife Gertruda, who moved him every hour to prevent bed sores, he remained in good health. He was, however, completely removed from the dramatic changes across the world.
Very good. Thank you. Amparo, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. Can you read number 4, please?
Okay. After regaining consciousness, he told his family that he had vague memories of family gatherings and of his relatives talking to him, trying to provoke a response. There was plenty for them to tell him about if they had surprised him with amazing news.
Okay, good. Thank you. Natalie, number 5, please.
Right. When Mr. Garasik lost consciousness in 1998, another Polish working man, the electrician Lech Walesa, received of the Nobel Peace Prize in 1983, was back at work after years under house arrest, but the communist authorities still had him under close surveillance. By 1890, communists had collapsed and Mr. Walesa was elected president of Poland with 75% of the vote.
Okay, so we'll just look at some words you had difficulty with. This one, I understand. This is pronounced surveillance.
Surveillance.
Yes, surveillance. And this one is a past tense regular verb. So this is collapsed. It sounds like a T on the end. Collapsed.
Collapsed.
Okay, try again. Collapsed.
Collapsed.
Good. Okay. Excellent.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Shafar, can you continue reading, please, at the top of the page?
Walesa turned out to be a failure as a president, and when he stood for office again in 2000, Mr. Gay's relatives have pointed out that only 1% of the electorate voted for him. By that time, Poland had a market economy. Communism had become a thing of the past, but injured Wyman was still dead to the world.
Okay. What does that mean, to be still dead to the world? Anyone? What do you think it means?
He was in coma?
Yeah, he was still in a coma. He was still unconscious. He was dead to the world. But he wasn't dead. Okay. Let's see. Stephanie, can you read number 6? Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can you use death to the world in another context? For example, if nobody remembers you. For example, you are a famous person, and then everybody forgets you.
The phrase is not usually used in that context. I'm just trying to think of what we say for that. But typically, if you say that somebody's dead to the world, they're either in a coma or they're asleep. It's to express that person who isn't conscious, whether from sleep or from coma. You're dead to the world.
Okay.
But I can't think right now. I'm sure there is an expression for what you're talking about, but we don't usually use that one. All right, so all right, Stephanie, it was Stephanie's turn. Number 6.
Okay. Mr. Grushevsky's remarkable story is a real-life version of the film Goodbye, Lenin, in which Catherine says an East Berliner suffers a heart attack and falls into a coma in 1989. She misses the fall of the Berlin Wall and the sudden and dramatic transformation of everyday life as the communist system collapses.
Good, thank you. All right, Anatoly, number 7.
When she comes back to life, the doctor warns her son Alex that a shock might kill her, so he goes to drastic lengths to hide the revolution from her.
Okay, good. And Elena, number 8.
Gertruda Zeska took no such precautions when her husband came round, and he saw the miracle of modern Poland. He noticed that people were complaining just as much as during the years of empty shops and martial law. Now I see people on the streets with cell phones, and there are so many goods in the shops, it makes my head spin, he said.
Good, thank you. And Joseph, the last one.
What amazes me is all these people who walk around with their mobile phones, and yet they never stop meaning.
That word is moaning. Moaning.
Moaning.
Moaning. Does anybody know what moaning means?
Complaining.
Yes, like complaining. They just complain and complain about everything. So another way to describe that is moaning. Moaning, actually, the literal meaning is when somebody is in pain and they make a noise. That noise of someone in pain, it's low and it's just like, that's kind of a moan. But we also use it as a word to describe complaining. Are there any other questions about any of the language in this article that you're wondering about? Everyone's okay? All right, so let's go back to our questions and see if we can answer them. It's really good if you have the worksheet downloaded so you can refer to it to find the answers. Let's start with Stephanie. Number 1. How long was Jan Grebsky in a coma?
Jan Gruszewski was in a coma for 19 years.
Yes, 19 years. Very good. And Natalie, when did he lose consciousness?
When he lost consciousness in 1988?
Very close, 1989. Very close. Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. 1988. Oh, it was the other one, the woman.
No, the woman,
who was
yes,
in 1989. Right. Very good. You did it right. Okay, and Joseph? Number 3? How many years did doctors give him to live?
2 or 3 years.
Yeah, just 2 or 3 years. Okay, number 4, Elena. When did Lech Walesa receive the Nobel Peace Prize?
He received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1983.
Okay. Good. And Anatoly, number 5. When did Mr. Walesa return to work after his period of house arrest?
In 1990.
Apparently, I've got 1988. Let's take a look. Let's find. Does anybody know the paragraph that's in?
Number 5.
Number 5. When Mr. Grebski lost consciousness in 1988, another Polish working man, the electrician Lech Walesa, recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize in 1983, was back at work after years under house arrest. So it was the same year that Mr. Grebski lost consciousness.
It is not easy.
Well, the next thing that is said is that Mr. Walesa was elected president in 1990. So that's what happened in 1990. But he returned to work in 1988. Yes, it was hidden in that sentence about
He was
Mr.
back
Grebski.
at work after years under house arrest. After
Yes.
years.
Mm-hmm.
When lost conscience, another in 1988, yes.
Right. So what this sentence is doing is comparing the two men. When one was losing consciousness, the other one was getting his job back. So 1 year and 2 men doing different things. Okay, so that's our questions. Oh, more. What percentage of the vote did Mr. Walesa achieve in Poland's first post-communist election? Stephanie? Stephanie?
75%.
Okay, 75%. Very good. And what percentage of the vote did Mr. Walesa achieve in Poland's presidential election in 2000? Natalie?
1%.
Wow, big difference. 7.1%. 7.1%. Let's check it. That's what I have from the key.
I got here that only 1% of the electorate vote for him.
Okay.
That's in the file, but maybe I'm wrong. I am wrong. I have to.
No, I'm looking because sometimes the key is wrong. So
it's Walesa turned out to be a fairly as president.
I think you're right. Only
Yeah.
1% of the electorate voted for him. That's very clear. Okay, so my key is wrong. Thank you very much. I will fix that. Sometimes this happens. Okay, so Joseph, the next question. When did Catherine Sass fall into a coma in the film Goodbye Lenin?
1989.
Yes, 1989. Good. All right. Well done, everybody. Now we're going to choose the best answer according to the text. So we'll start with Elena. Read number 1 and then read the most or the best answer out of the 3. Just read the one that you think is the best answer. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Sevsky survived his coma because his wife took good care of him.
Yes. Yay, wife. Anatoly, number 2, please.
When Mr. Repsky regained consciousness, he told his family that they had managed to provoke a response from him. No, that they had managed. I think also. Not sure.
Well, the one that is correct is the one you didn't choose. But out of those 3, probably it would not be C because it starts with they. And if he told his family, it's either going to be that he was surprised or that he could remember his relatives. And I think it seems to me, didn't he talk about that he sort of remembered his relatives coming in and telling him things, but I don't think he remembered exactly what they said. So let's check the text and see.
I remember a phrase which is similar to C answer, but when I am looking though the whole sentence, it seems that it is wrong clue.
Okay, yeah, so I'm looking in paragraph 4. After regaining consciousness, he told his family that he had vague memories of family gatherings and of his relatives talking to him, trying to provoke a response.
Which memories of family and his relatives? And B.
Yeah.
He could remember his relatives.
I think so. I think it was B. So let's check. Yes, B it is. All right, and Amparo is back. Welcome back, Amparo.
Thank you.
Do you think you can try answering question number 3, please?
Lech Walesa received only 1% of the vote in the second election because he became unpopular. He did not perform well as a president. Poland was a market economy. Let me see the paragraph. Letter. I think it is a letter C.
We're trying to choose the best answer, and there was some talk about
unpopular.
Well, he did become unpopular. Obviously, he only got 1% of the vote, but why was he unpopular is the question here.
Because communism had become a thing of the past.
But that's not one of our options here.
Yeah, but it's related with he did maybe he did not perform well as president.
That's the sentence that President of Poland Walesa turned out to be a failure as president. So he didn't do a good job, and I think that's the answer.
Yeah.
He didn't perform very well. Okay. And Stephanie, number 4.
Okay. When Catherine says regain consciousness in the film Goodbye Lenin, the answer is B. Her son tried to hide her from the revolution.
Yes, exactly. Okay, good. And number 5, Natalie?
Number 5, Mr. Rusk, I can't say that.
I think it's just Grebsky. I think the Z is probably silent. I'm not sure, but Grebsky is what I say.
I ask him how.
So just say Grebsky. That's good enough.
Okay, Grebsky was amused because people were complaining and
Yes.
the shows were full. People had mobile phones. I think it was I don't know. I mean, people had mobile phone. I think was really good. So maybe the shops were full. The shops were full.
Well, that was certainly an amazing thing, but I think there was something else that just made him shake his head. What is going on?
So is the mobile phone?
No, the people were complaining. They had all this stuff, and they're complaining. When he fell into the coma, people were complaining because there was nothing in the stores. Couldn't buy anything. There was never enough. Now they had plenty, but they're still complaining. That part didn't change. So they're still complaining, no matter what. All right. So let's see if we can find the words. So this is a vocabulary exercise where you know what the definition is, and you have to find the word in the paragraph. So they do give you what it's going to be. In paragraph 1, it's a phrase that means so much that it cannot be recognized anymore. And I'm going to just put this out to whoever finds it first.
Has changed beyond recognition.
Beyond recognition. Very good. Okay, so in paragraph 2, there's an ed verb, which is a past tense verb that means distributed in limited individual portions because there is not enough to meet demand.
Portioned.
Okay, portioned. Rationed. Rationed.
Rationed.
Okay. And in paragraph 3, we have a plural noun, and it means painful areas of the skin from lying in bed too long.
Bed sores.
Plural noun.
Bed sores.
Bed sores? Okay, good. And number 4 is a phrase in paragraph 5 that means we're watching him very carefully in order to catch him committing a crime. It's a phrase.
Under house arrest.
Not under house arrest, but under something.
Surveillance.
Surveillance.
Yeah, surveillance. Surveillance. Okay. And a phrase in paragraph 5 that means competed in an election for an official position of responsibility.
He stood
Stand
for office again.
Okay. Amparo, what did you say?
Yes, he stood for office again.
Okay, and it was Elena, the other one?
Yeah, the same.
Same thing? Okay.
For office.
Okay. Stood for office. All right, and then in 6, noun in paragraph 5, all the citizens of a country who are allowed to vote in an election.
Electorate.
Okay. We have the two ladies neck and neck here. Very good. Okay, a phrase in paragraph 5 that means something which does not happen or exist anymore.
A thing of the past.
Has become a thing of the past.
That sounds right, yeah. A thing of the past. Good. And now an idiom in paragraph 7 that means does extreme things in order to achieve something.
Drastic.
Drastic.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. Okay. Drastic lengths. Sometimes that's said drastic measures. Drastic measures or drastic lengths. They both mean the same thing. But you might hear variations like that. Okay, an ing verb in paragraph 9 that means complaining, usually about something that does not seem important to other people.
Moaning.
Moaning, yes. We kind of discussed that one already. Moaning. Are there any questions about these? Okay. All right. So phrases in the text match the words in the left and right columns to create phrases from the text. Again, this is very similar to the last matchup that we did. Let's start with Stephanie. Number 1.
Dramatic story.
Okay, dramatic story. Oop, dramatic changes.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. A dramatic story works for me too. That's a collocation that goes together. But dramatic changes is what this story was about. So there we go. Let's try Natalie with vague.
Memories?
Yeah, vague memories. These are unclear memories of something that happened in the past. Elena, amazing.
Amazing story.
Okay, yes. Amazing news. We're not going to get that story in there.
Yes.
Amazing news. Very surprising news. Again, amazing story is possible, and I understand why you would choose that. It makes perfect sense. But in this case, in the article, it was amazing news. All right, Anatoly, number 4.
House arrest.
House arrest. So, forced by the authorities to stay in your house. Okay, Amparo, a market.
Economy.
Okay, a market economy. One of the easier ones. Stephanie, number 6.
Martial law.
Yes. And that is when a city or country is controlled by the army. And the last one. So finally, Natalie will be able to use story.
A remarkable story.
Okay. It's a remarkable story. Good. So things like dramatic, amazing, remarkable, they're all very similar adjectives. And you could say remarkable news, or amazing news, or dramatic news. And the same with stories. So it's not too surprising that we would get those ones wrong. So let's take a look very quickly at the grammar. We're going to just review the tenses. So read the sentence and then tell me which one of the kinds of action, one of these. Okay, so Let's start with Amparo. Number 1, read it and then match it up to one of these letters.
Mr. Gatsby lost consciousness in 1988, a complete event in the past.
Yes, completed event. Very good. Anatoly, number 2.
A Polish railway worker has woken after 19 years of a coma. Something that happened before a specific time.
It's very similar to that, but it's not that one. Think about it. He has woken after 19 years. So is it finished now?
Has woken.
Yeah, so he's awake now.
Yes.
So the time that he was asleep is finished. It's completed. It's in the past.
Completed past event that happened.
Okay, but because has woken, what do you know what tense that is? Has woken.
It is a present perfect.
Yeah, it's present perfect. So that means it's not completely in the past because that would be past simple, and this is not past simple.
Maybe E, an
Yes.
action that started.
Okay, good. Elena, number 3.
His world has changed beyond all recognition. I don't know. I guess a recent event that has a connection with the present.
That would be my choice too. Let's see if that's correct. Yes. A recent event that has a connection with the present. Good. Very good. Okay, number 4, Natalie?
By 1919, communism has collapsed. Narrating the events of a film or play or novel.
Okay, let's take a look at this verb here, had collapsed. Do you know what tense that is?
It's past perfect.
Past perfect. Okay, so communism was finished by a certain date, by 1990. So it's something in the past. And that past was before 1990.
Something that happened before a specific time or event in the past?
That's the one. Good. All right, and number 5 for Stephanie.
He noticed that people were complaining just as much as during the years of empty shops and martial law. I guess it's F.
That's not a narration. Narration is
no. I guess D. Sorry, D.
A repeated or habitual action in the present. Yes, D is correct. Whoops. Completed past event that happened when another activity. Oh, yeah. Were complaining. He noticed that people were complaining. Just as much.
Because were is the past event.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, B, completed past event that happened when another activity was in progress. Okay. Number 6, Amparo.
All these people walk around with their mobile phones, and yet they never stop moaning. Moaning. Letter D.
Yes.
A repeated or habitual action in the present.
Exactly. Okay. And number 7, Anatoly.
When she comes back to life, the doctor warns her son Alex that a shock might kill her. We have only one choice. F. Narrating
Yes.
event on the
Okay,
fifth.
so how do we know this is a narration? What's the tense here?
It is a present tense, and we can see a list of statements which divided by comma.
Yeah, that isn't so much a narration. It's the fact that this is done in the present tense. All narration is done like, well, I shouldn't say all narration is present tense, but usually when somebody is telling a story, they tend to talk about it in present tense rather than past tense. Okay. So that's all we have here, except to tell us what is the tense of each sentence. And we've pretty much done them already, but let's go through them very quickly. We have a minute. So, Stephanie, number 1, what's the tense of this sentence?
Past tense.
Mr. Grebsky lost consciousness in 1988. Past. Okay. And Natalie, number 2.
Present perfect.
Okay, has woken, present perfect. Good. And Elena, number 3.
Present perfect as well.
Yes. So different ways the present perfect can be used because each of those sentences had a different type of meaning, but we use the present perfect for both of them. Anatoly, number 4.
Past perfect.
Yes, past perfect. Good. And Amparo, number 5.
Past simple plus past continuous.
Yes, very good. And number 6, Stephanie.
Present simple.
Okay, very good. And Natalie?
Present simple.
Very good. Okay, so that's it. Very good. Everybody did a really good job. We don't have time to do these mini biographies. They were for, if we went through really fast, we'd have something else to do. But thank you so much for joining me for the class. I hope it was useful, and I hope to see you soon in another class. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you very much.